Good day, friends, and welcome to Heart Matters. We're so grateful for the time that we have together here each week. It may be short, but I believe God can use this time to speak profound things into our hearts. Last week, we heard from a couple of people from Operation Christmas Child. This organization sends hundreds of thousands of shoeboxes filled with tangible supplies and gifts to children in need all around the world. And in today's show, we'll hear from a lady who currently lives in St. John's and received these shoeboxes as a child in her homeland of Zimbabwe. Listen in as Florence Zhou shares a bit of her story and how she is now wholeheartedly volunteering with this worthwhile cause. Also joining us to sing a couple of songs, we're pleased to have Claire Newman as today's musical guest. So let's get things started with Claire's first song. Enjoy.
When I feel alone, I'm never alone. You are right beside me. Standing in the fire and with the ashes, you make something beautiful. No matter where I go, you've already been. There is no shadow you aren't standing in. And I won't fear tomorrow, you know what lies ahead. Green pastures, still waters are your promise. God with me, Emmanuel, beginning to the end. And when you whisper peace, you still my heart. The power of your presence, it is revealed. And no matter where I go, you've already been. There is no shadow you aren't standing in. And I won't fear tomorrow, you know what lies ahead. Green pastures, still waters are your promises. Take my broken cup, fill it with your love. Only you can make me whole again. And take my broken cup and fill it with your love. Only you can make me whole again. And take my broken cup, fill it with your love. Only you can make me whole again. And take my broken cup and fill it with your love. Only you can make me whole again. Only you can make me whole again. And no matter where I go, you've already been. There is no shadow you aren't standing in. Green pastures, still waters are your promises. Green pastures, still waters are your promises.
Heart Matters will return in just a moment.
Closed captioning provided by Terry's Tents, offering services such as printing, embroidery, craft supplies, and canvas fabrication for over 30 years. Located in Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Looking for a quiet, clean, and economical place to stay in central Newfoundland? Emmanuel Convention Center offers hotel and motel rooms, cabins, bunk rooms, and RV lots. We are a family-friendly site featuring nature trails, a playground, and sporting areas. Give us a call today.
From envelopes to tractor-trailer loads, Dooley's Trucking caters to all your shipping needs. Capable of meeting all your shipping requirements throughout Newfoundland. Dooley's Trucking is your choice for fast and efficient delivery. Ship with the best. Ship Dooley's.
My name is Brandon Lee Mullet. I'm the owner here at Gander Appliance and Furniture, and I'd like to welcome you to our new showroom right here in Gander.
We carry a wide variety of furniture brands, including Canadian-made Decorest, Canadel Dining, and a large variety of Ashley furniture. We also carry major appliance brands such as Bosch, Maytag, and Whirlpool. Come visit us at 60 Armstrong Boulevard in Gander or 1 Fairview Street in Lewisport.
Hi, my name is Florence. I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. I moved to Canada and Newfoundland in January 2016. So I grew up in a very big city, and so I'm a city girl. Everybody goes to church. Like on Sundays, everybody is rushing to go to their church. And so I went to Sunday school. That was in like my early years. And around my teenage years, I started teaching Sunday school. I didn't know anything about OCC or Samaritan Purse. I received my first box when I was about 8 years old, and I received 3 or 4 boxes in total. So they came through our church, and so everybody below 14 years was getting a box. And so I got my first one when I was 8. There was this question that kept on lingering in my mind, that like, where do these boxes come from? Like, I want to know who put together something, because they're so special where you open them up and it's everything that you didn't know you needed. And so like school supplies, hygiene supplies, and a special present that's in there. I just remember distinctively, I don't know if it was something that God put on my heart at that time, at that young age. Like, you know, you don't really like fathom a lot of things at that age, especially like spiritually and stuff, because you're still growing in that. And so I just remember just feeling like I need to find out where these boxes come from, or like a feeling of like maybe I need to be a part of it. But like, again, it wasn't anything that I put to words at that time. It was just really a feeling on my heart. Out on the gravel, on the grass, everybody from like 2 years old to 14 years old being handed out and they would call our names out and hand out this box, and everybody would be sitting and everybody was whispering in each other's ears, and like they were taking all these things and showing each other. It was a feeling of like excitement, of joy, of just being seen, just love and generosity that touched my heart personally. Yeah, like I would have a smile from ear to ear just like opening up those boxes, and not just my box, but like seeing other people open their boxes. And yeah, I just remember so much joy and excitement, and again, that feeling of like, where did this come from? Like, I need to thank this person, or I need to meet this person, or something like that. God's grace has been chasing me down ever since, maybe even that box or even before, or maybe like that feeling that I'm talking about is just that's God chasing me down. And so after I finished my high school, I graduated with good marks, and this woman says to me, "Do you want to go to Canada?" I'm like, we're not that rich. How are we supposed to do that? So in my mind, when she said that, it was like something that's kind of impossible, because, you know, when you're using your human, you know, comprehension, you're like, yeah, no, with the situation on the ground, I don't think that's an option for us. She started talking about how one of her friends at work has 2 daughters that have come to Newfoundland, and how Newfoundland has cheaper education in Canada, and how we can be able to come here and work for a little bit, like the hours that we're allowed by the government, and also have some money for upkeep, but at the same time, the tuition wasn't too bad. As time progressed, we started the whole process. We visited one of our local administrators for helping international students come to Canada, the UK, because we wanted to make sure that nothing was wrong, and they have the experience. So we wanted to really look really good for the IRCC so that I could actually come here and study. I remember telling my dad, and I guess my dad had the same reaction as me, like, how are we going to do that? But my mom is such a woman of faith. I don't know if she hears the voice of God or she heard the voice of God at that time, and she was like, I'm going to do this. And it was so difficult for her because I'm the only girl and the last born in our family. And so it wasn't like an easy journey for her. I've seen her walk through her faith and things happening for her. We bought our ticket at the end of the year. That was 2015. And so, 2016 January, which is not the best time to come to Canada for a school year, because that's in the middle of the school year and it's also in the middle of the winter. I met one of these ladies from MUN. She met me and she just warmed up to me, and she connected me with a bunch of Zimbabwean students that were already there. I don't know how exactly I ended up in Bethesda Pentecostal Church. I don't know if it was an invite or like a flyer that I seen, but I decided to attend it to try it out. And it was around November. And so I see children holding these green and red boxes walking down the aisle. I'm like, wait a minute. I know those boxes. I've received one of those boxes, and like the same reaction that I'm having right now, tears just started streaming down my face, and I took out my phone and took a picture and sent it to my mom instantly. I'm like, this is where they come from. God is so gracious enough to plan this whole thing, to place me in a church where I always had that lingering thought at the back of my mind, and now I know. So to me, that moment was full circle. It's as if that thing that I experienced when I was 8 years old, when I was receiving those boxes, that's why. It was like, why do I need to do to be a part of this? Receiving those boxes on Christmas is something really new for a child like me, for a person like me in my country. And I was like, God, however you want me to be a part of this, however you want me to use me, I am ready. I was just looking to really push this thing because, again, like we're saying, we kind of tend to be like, oh, it's just a box. It's not, I'm just picking something for somebody. But you don't know how much it impacts the person who receives it and how much the love of God spreads through that box. So I volunteered to help Tina and Freeman, Ralph, to collect the boxes from Bethesda. So I was out in the foyer between the 9 a.m. and the 11 a.m. service. I was just an advocate of like getting us a lot of boxes. And the previous Sunday, before the Sunday that I did the volunteer in the foyer for the collection of the boxes after service, I had stood up there, as scary as it is, and I just had an interview with the pastor, one of the pastors, just asking me questions about the whole thing and my experience and how I was given that box and all that. And I guess it moved people because the next Sunday, about 160 boxes came up. Boxes were coming and coming and coming. And I had also pledged that I would pick a box every year. So either 2 boxes, a boy and a girl, or 1 depending on my financial situation and my position at that time. But last year I picked 12. I remember praying, I'm like, God, whatever you want me to place in these boxes, because they're so intentional and so specific to the child. It's amazing how that is. It's beyond human comprehension, how boxes can land on in the hands of a child specifically for their need. It's something that's been with me since childhood. And I know a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people saying this is my calling from a young age and all that, and I never really understood it until it happened to me. That God would pinpoint me and fly me halfway across the world to just do His purpose. A lot of times we don't fathom how God is in control. I think it's so true what the Bible said, that there's so much freedom, there's so much joy in giving than receiving. But then I think that also that joy is transferred to the receiving end of that. And so I really encourage people to get into this ministry, to pick a box. Even if it's just 1 box and you think that it's not a lot, it will mean something to somebody out there. There's so many children in underprivileged countries that have never received a gift, that have never received even a toothbrush. That box is not only tied to that child, it's tied to a family, it's tied to a community. And so the moment they receive that box and they know the love of Christ, you're impacting the world 1 shoebox at a time. And I'm a living testimony of that. I am.
It's clear that we believe God works through people. Every story, song, and message that is shared here on Heart Matters is done through people. On and off camera, God is using people to speak His message of hope. And here's where you can help. Go ahead and send us suggestions of people from your area that could be a part of an upcoming show. What God is doing in the lives of people around us is too good not to share with others. Also, if something you've heard in the show has impacted you, we'd love to hear about that as well. Simply drop by our website and leave us some feedback there, or send us a direct message on social media. And speaking of social media, if you're not yet following us, please join in so you can see the latest on upcoming episodes and events. Still to come in today's show, The Bottom Line with Mike Freake, and more music from Claire Newman when Heart Matters returns.
Scott's Transport Limited is a family-owned and operated full transportation company located in beautiful Deer Lake. In business for over 25 years and with a fleet of modern equipment and dedicated team, we service the growing needs of businesses from Newfoundland and Labrador to Ontario and locations in between. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
RE/MAX would like to say thank you for allowing us to be a part of the most important transaction of your life. Our mandate is giving back to the communities that serve us. We will be honored to help you with your next move. Call any of our offices today and let one of our RE/MAX agents go to work for you.
When Jenny and I go for our walks, our go-to place is typically at the Cobb's Pond Walking Trail. And honestly, it's probably one of the most beautiful boardwalks, and it circles entirely around the pond. And honestly, it's one of the best walking trails in our area, especially on cool, clear evenings when the wind has died down and the pond is like a mirror. And every time I walk around the pond, there's always something that I think about, and the reason is because I see certain things along the trail that brings this particular thought to mind. So let me explain. Years ago, my friend Justin Parsons would walk around the pond with his grandfather, Ken. And he was just a little boy at the time. And as the two of them would walk around the pond, Ken would find certain small saplings that were, very flexible. And he tied them in a knot and just left it there. And over the years, these saplings continued to grow with a knot in them. And even now, years later, as I walk around that pond, I see certain trees there with big knots in them. And I'm always reminded of these two people. And I picture a grandfather with a little boy walking hand in hand, tying knots in trees. And it will always be a reminder to me as long as those trees are alive. Those knots remind me of legacy. They remind me of impact from one generation to another generation. And it's one thing to have temporary impact, that's good, but it's another thing to have lasting impact. And that's what I want for my life. And you can have that in your life as well. I want the things that I do to matter. I want them to count for something. I want them to outlive me. I want my life and my effort to count for something far beyond the temporary time that I have here on this earth. Well, Justin's grandfather has since passed away since those knot tying days, but his legacy and memory continue to this day. Even to his great-grandchildren, as I'm told by Justin that when he takes his children for a walk, he ties trees with them as well. Today's story could not be scripted any better to illustrate this. How powerful it was to see the Christmas shoe boxes being prepared by someone who was at one time a recipient of them. Many years ago, that box was prepared by someone who cared and had no idea the impact that little box would have. How could this person ever imagine the impact that a Christmas shoebox could have? And that's the bottom line today, that anything done for God has a lasting and eternal impact. Years after I'm gone, people won't remember my name or who I was or remember what I did, but my legacy will live on because I invested my life in people. And I believe I invested my life in what truly matters. So live your life for others and not for yourself. The question is, what are you investing your life in? And what are you doing with the one life that you have that will make an impact that will outlast you? You figure that out, and you've just tied some knots.
The hour is dark. It's hard to see what you are doing here in the ruins and where this will lead. Oh, but I know that down through the years I'll look back on this moment and see your hand on it and know you were here. And I'll testify of the battles you won, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. And I'll sing the song of the seas that we've crossed, the waters you parted, the waves that I've walked, singing, oh, my God did not fail. Oh, it's a story I'll tell. Believing it's hard when options are few, when I can't see what you're doing. I know that you're proving you're the God who comes through. Oh, but I know that over the years I'll look back on this moment and see your hand I'll testify of the seas that we've crossed, the waters you parted, the waves that I've walked, singing, oh, 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 my God did not fail. It's a story I'll tell. I know it is well. It's a story I'll tell. And all that is left is highest praises. So sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. And all that is left is highest praises. Sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. And all that is left is highest praises. So sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. And I'll testify of the battles you won, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. I know it is well. It's a story I'll tell.
What is the story that you'll tell? That last song declared that we'll tell of his provision, we'll tell of his unwavering faithfulness. I want that to be the story of my life, and our prayer is that you can testify of his faithfulness in your life as well. We want to give a big thank you to Claire and Florence for being with us today, and a big thank you to all of you for taking the time to tune in. We pray God's blessing over you as we clue up this time for today, and we invite you all back again next week.